Hey GeoBuddies, it's Justin, the GCDoc. I am out this afternoon attempting my first ever Wherigo. A Wherigo is a geolocation-based game where you follow a program on a GPS or a smartphone and travel from location to location, gathering clues, answering questions, and hopefully finding a geocache at the end. And this should be interesting as the location I'm at is a national cemetery. And it's not just me today, look who I have with. We got Maya, we got Cullen, Brecken, Evie, and of course Wifey. Who's ready to go find a Wherigo?
What?
Okay, who's ready to find a geocache?
Me!
Alright, let's start this adventure. Alright, with Wherigos you go from location to location. You travel by foot, or today will be by car since it's freezing cold out. And looks like our first stop is a gravesite of George Emerson Leach. We're about 66 feet away, and I'm assuming as I walk closer it's going to tell me what I need to answer in order for the next location. I should clarify that not all GPS units can do the Wherigos, only Garmin's at this point from what I believe. Let me know if there are other ones, but you also can use your smartphone, which is really nice. Here it is, George Emerson Leach. George Leach was the commander of the 151st Field Artillery Regiment in 1916. Major General Leach was also known as Mayor Leach of the city of Minneapolis. He served as mayor starting June 1921. He was re-elected in 1923. Distinguished Service Cross, Distinguished Service Medal, and then the Purple Heart. The Purple Heart?
Yeah.
Is getting injured in war. You receive the Purple Heart. This next one we can get without having to leave the vehicle. Says you're probably aware of the famous picture of the flag raising on Iwo Jima, but in actuality it was actually the second flag raising. Charles Lindbergh was one of the members of the combat patrol who participated in the capture of the summit. After the battle was over, they found a narrow water pipe to which they attached a flag and raised it. However, the flag was too small to be seen from other landing beaches, so they decided to send another team with a larger flag to attach to a larger pole. Now we're headed to Robert John Casey. There are over 200,000 people buried in this cemetery. It's just amazing. Oh, I think I see it. There it is. Robert John Casey, World War II. Bob Casey was the only public address announcer in the Minnesota Twins history. In 2005, he announced for 444 seasons and more than 3,000 games. In this picture shown here, Bob is on the right with Billy Martin and Mickey Mantle. This is him with Kirby Puckett, a very famous Minnesota Twin. Now it says, we are going to go on our way to another favorite sports announcer, Halsey Hall. Anybody growing up in the 60s probably familiar with Halsey Hall. He was a colorful analyst for the Minnesota Twins, announcing the game to radio and television audiences. But what many do not know is his association with Minnesota Twins sports goes back even further than that. He was the one who started calling the Gophers the Golden Gophers on the count of winning 3 straight championships. But the thing he's most famous for is being the first sports announcer to use the term "holy cow." That's pretty cool. We say that too, don't we, sometimes?
What?
Holy cow! Alright, this next one, a pretty somber one. I mean, all deaths are somber, but if you look at the day this gentleman passed, you'll see why. This is the site of Tom Burnett. He was one of the passengers on Flight 93 in September 11. And just reading into this a little bit, he was one of the individuals that got together passengers on the flight to storm the cockpit when the terrorists took over that flight. And it says here, his final words to his wife were, "We're going to do something." He organized a number of other passengers to storm the cockpit and take back the plane. They were able to stop the hijackers from harming anyone on the ground, and the plane crashed in a Pennsylvania field, killing 44 people on the flight. He died defending the country and is remembered as a citizen soldier for standing up for the terrorists on that fateful day. All right, moving on to the final stop. Maya, have you had fun doing this?
Yeah.
Look at me. You've had fun?
Yeah.
All right, we're coming up to the final location. Not in the cemetery, but pretty close by. Somewhere over here. What? Holy cow!
Let's see if it's blank.
Let's see if it's blank. You think we're first to find?
Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, you still got a smiley. Look at that little smiley in there. All right, guys, that's about does it for this cache. Very, very neat. I had a great time doing this Wherigo. I definitely recommend you guys trying Wherigos if you haven't done one. Get this thing signed, get out of the cold, get some hot chocolate. All right, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Comment on if you guys done a Wherigo before. Stay safe, but cache on.